You know, that whole thing in the news lately with the flight attendant diagnosed with cancer, possibly because of cosmic radiation, really got me wondering about what we're exposed to up there at 30,000 feet. It's like every time you check the news, bam, something new to worry about, right? Well, today we're doing a deep dive on cosmic radiation. Going to see if those frequent flyer miles are actually going to give you something to worry about or not.
Definitely a question a lot of people have.
Right. And we actually have this blog post from a Taiwanese nuclear medicine specialist. And let me tell you, the title alone, Cosmic Rays Are Rendered So Scary, Why Haven't Airfares Gone Down? Exactly. Tells you everything you need to know about where this is going. But before we get ahead of ourselves, what exactly is cosmic radiation?
Okay, so picture this. Tiny, invisible particles packed with energy, just zooming through space from exploded stars, supernovae, even our own sun sometimes. Those are cosmic rays. Basically a type of ionizing radiation, a lot like X-rays, actually. And the thing is, with flying, we're mostly worried about the galactic cosmic rays, not so much the ones from the sun.
Hold on, really. I figured the sun, being closer and all, would be the bigger issue. What makes the galactic ones worse for flying?
Wild, right? See, Earth's atmosphere is like this big shield, blocks most of the sun's radiation, but galactic cosmic rays, way more powerful. They cut right through that and get to us, even down here on the ground.
So, like, different levels of space weather, depending on where those rays are coming from. Crazy. Okay, but the big question is, on a normal flight, how much of this radiation are we actually getting? Enough to be a problem.
Gotta remember, we're always getting small doses of radiation from all sorts of stuff, not just cosmic rays. It's like background noise, you know. We measure this in millisieverts or MSV. Average person gets about 3 millisSV per year, just from normal stuff, rate on gas in the soil, even some radioactive elements in food, you name it.
3 millisV, huh? Didn't realize it was that much just going about your day. Makes you think, right? We freak out about flying, but this stuff is just out there all the time.
It really is. And get this blog post mentioned living with a smoker for 540 days. It's like, what, 500 chest x-rays worth of radiation? Protective, right?
Seriously. Okay, so radiation's everywhere. Point taken. But back to the frequent flyers, especially crew members. There's been a lot of talk about, like, melanoma, breast cancer, all that, being higher risk for them. What's the deal there?
Yeah, there have definitely been studies on that. Some of the early ones did show a bit of an increase in certain cancers for flight crews. Problem is, a lot of those were hard to really nail down.
How so?
Well, a lot of them were done before smoking bans on planes, so trying to figure out if it was the cosmic rays, the secondhand smoke, or both, really muddy.
Right, with all that secondhand smoke radiation you mentioned, got to factor that out.
For sure. And even with the newer stuff, trying to pin it down 100%, like this much cosmic radiation equals this much higher risk, still tricky.
So, still kind of up in the air, no pun intended. Which brings us back to that flight attendant, right? Stomach cancer. Based on what we know, could that have been solely from the cosmic rays?
Tough to say, honestly. The news didn't get into, like, how long they'd been flying, their health overall, anything like that. Could be other stuff going on.
So, jumping to conclusions based on one case? Probably not smart.
Exactly. Cancer's a whole other beast, right? So many things factor in. It's not like, bam, radiation, you get cancer that easily. Plus, stuff like the stomach, internal organs, usually less likely to be damaged by radiation compared to, say, your skin.
Okay, that's something, at least.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean zero risk from cosmic rays either, right?
Right. There's some risk. Gotta be real about that. But it's all about perspective, you know? The amount you get on a normal flight, especially a short one, pretty tiny.
So, like, my yearly trip to see family, I shouldn't be stressing over it.
Honestly, the research seems to say you need way more than even frequent flying to significantly up your cancer risk. We're talking over 250 milliRSs.
250. Man, that's what, like 80 times more than we get normally in a year? That's like, what, a CT scan every single week for a year, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, a few flights, not exactly the same ballpark.
Not even close. And don't forget, those studies were looking at crew members, right? So they're getting those tiny doses all the time. For us regular folks, taking a vacation or two, no need to freak out.
Makes sense. It's like easy to spiral, you know, but got to keep it real. The actual risk for most people is pretty low from what you're saying.
That's the thing. Cosmic rays, they're just part of life on Earth, you know? And there's so much else we can do to actually stay healthy that we can control, right? Eating right, exercising, not smoking. Those make a way bigger difference than a few cosmic rays here and there.
So focus on what we can do makes me feel better already.
For sure. Stress management, that's a big one too. Don't sweat the stuff you can't change.
That's the perfect note to end on, honestly. It's so easy to get caught up in every health scare, but there's a lot we can do for ourselves. So next time you're up at 30,000 feet, instead of worrying about invisible space particles, maybe just, enjoy the in-flight movie, right? And hey, maybe a little gratitude for being able to fly at all. That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, everyone, and until next time, stay curious.